Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope you guys are all having a great day. We got a few people in the house already. Mickey, Playa, Mr. Negative, Mets fan, Dr. Cosmo. What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are all having an awesome day. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Today's video, I decided to do the usual top 10 list. We're going to be doing it as a live stream instead. But instead of the normal top 10 list, it's going to be more of... So I got 13 books right here. I read one of them digitally that I'm going to be talking about. And then I'm going to review all of these as they are. And then we're going to be going into the tier list, and we're just going to be ranking them all as they are. I'm really excited to do it. We had some really good books come out this week. K-Bar, Connor, John, Playa. What's going on, everybody? And Mr. Negative, congrats on that win yesterday at the EXP live stream. I think that was your first time tuning in, and you won one of the giveaways. That's pretty sweet. But I hope you guys all had an awesome new comic book day. Hope you guys are all having a good day so far. Connor says, thoughts on that Boom Studios, I'm guessing Boom Studios Kickstarter. Oh yeah, for Power Rangers that came out. Oh my God. Is it out? Man. I'm going to be real with you. I wish I bought it. I've got the books sitting in the back there. If I didn't have them all already, I 100% would have bought that Kickstarter. It's awesome. They all have special edition covers. I think it actually comes in a box set. It might be in a box set. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's definitely, to me, in my opinion, it's definitely worth the money. Those deluxe editions all sell for a ton of money right now. Mr. Easy Go Lucky, what's going on, man? Checking out the show. I'm glad you popped in. Hope you're having a good day. Mark McGrath. I always say McGath. I'm sorry. Mark McGrath. Howdy. What's going on, bud? C-Mel. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Turtles 2 is a banging series. Loved issue 4 this week. Wasn't able to... All right, so I wasn't able to grab issue number 4 for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TMNT. And the Approach issue 5 is the one that I had to read digitally. So if anyone was just wondering, that's the one that I had to read digitally. As far as if you guys were in the Tuesday stream, we were talking about either getting that one issue that came out from Scout Comics. My shop didn't get any Scouts, so I don't know if they actually came out or not this week. But the other one was, because one of the donations was meant to get either that Scout Comics book or the other one from DC for the Unstoppable Doom Patrol. For the scratch covers, they didn't have any of those either. They only had cover A. So I'm going to wait to see how that one plays out, see if I can get my hands on that one. And then I will scratch it off in front of all you guys. Let's see. It's Jeff was sold out. Oh, yeah, my shop. I don't think my shop had that one either. I was really surprised. What's going on, Ink? All right, so like I said, got a lot of really good books today. I'm going to be reviewing them. We're going to be going through all these books together. And then once we do all the reviews, we're going to be ranking them with the tier maker. So these books are in no particular order. I'm going to be starting off with some Marvel. I didn't read any DC, and then we're going to be working our way into the indies. Connor, I was looking for the Black Anus, whatever it is. That variant, that'd be a cool one. All right, first one today. What are we going to do first, folks? What are we going to do? Let's talk about this one. We got Thor issue number 32. We got some people in the house right now. I don't know who's all reading this series so far, or they continued on with this series. This is cover A. So I believe her name is Torunn Grønbekk. I'm not sure if that's how you say it exactly, but she is the new writer on Thor. She took over for Donny Cates. I'm with you, John. I think this series is garbage. I've been very back and forth on it. I've said in the past that the arcs start off extremely strong. I'll leave it up again for you guys. The arcs start off extremely strong for Thor. They really do, especially when Donny Cates was there. And you guys, even if you guys don't like Thor, you don't like Donny Cates, you have to admit, he starts all of his arcs off with a bang. He always gets the reader hooked. He makes the reader want more. He's a master at that. He does a phenomenal job at making the reader need that next issue. However, I've said it so many times with his writing, is that he's got so many ideas and he's got so many things that he wants to do for his series that as it progresses, let's talk, say, if it's a 5-issue mini or if it's a 5-issue arc, let's say by issue 3, it's almost as if he starts to get a little bored with it and he wants to move on to the next thing. He's done it almost this entire series so far. However, with Torunn Grønbekk taken over, I was pretty excited. I wanted to see what she could do with it. And I honestly felt the first issue, I think this is the second issue with her. I think the first one, it was not bad. Or whenever she took over, I thought the first couple of issues weren't that bad. Now it seems as though Dr. Doom is going to be playing a little bit bigger of a role. And I don't think it's good. I don't think the artwork is that good because Nick Klein's not on it anymore either. And to be real with you, so this is what the artwork looks like. One of the main reasons that I did power through this series, despite not really liking it, not being a big fan of the stories, was because of the artwork. I felt Nick Klein's art he did a killer job on it. I thought it was phenomenal. And then it had a little bit more of a gritty feel to it. It was darker. It had that type of a tone to the story. And that's what Donny Cates was going for. And this isn't doing it for me. The artwork, in my opinion, it kind of looks, I don't want to call it cartoonish, but it's almost as if it's like a Nick Klein style with the dark gritty tones, but it has more of a bubbly cartoonish feel to it, like a lot of current Marvel artwork has. Let's see, for example, let's look at like Deadpool. Deadpool's artwork is nice though. I don't want to compare it to that, but I don't know. Yeah, Mark. So, hey, Lyle, what's going on, buddy? I hope you're having a good day so far. Thanks for popping in, man. No, Thor didn't meet Doctor Doom, which is another thing. It's a lot of times with Marvel, they make covers like this, and it has nothing to do with the issue itself. I mean, it technically does. I mean, the title is Thor, and then Doctor Doom makes an appearance. But it's like, I don't know, you see Doom written across the top here. You see them looking like they're going to square off. So you're going into this issue with the anticipation of, whoa, all right, like maybe we're finally going to be getting into a little bit more. Maybe some of the stuff that they've been hinting at for a little while now, it's going to finally happen, or they're going to get closer to it. And it's once again just a whole nothing burger. There's just a lot of stuff that it felt like, why? They're still hinting, and all right, this is supposed to be Corvus Glaive. I mean, I don't know. It seems the series itself, it's really not doing it for me anymore. This is Hela in this one, and I don't know. Artwork, not my style. I don't think it's that great. I don't think Doctor Doom even looks that good, in my opinion. Let's bring that one up for you guys. Like I said, I don't think Doom even looks that great. The story, super, super underwhelming, and I mean, we're 32 issues deep. At this point, if you've been collecting the whole series, what do you really do? Are you going to drop it 32 issues deep, or are you going to ride this one out? Because realistically, how much longer are they going to be continuing on with this one? I mean, hell, not Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel's at 48 issues coming out, I think, next week or the week after that, and they're going to be wrapping it up at issue number 50. So I feel like they're going to do that whole thing with Thanos more towards the very end, like maybe the last 10 issues or something like that, and they're going to wrap the entire series up. And this is just my thoughts on where they're going to go with it. I don't think they're even going to wrap that up. I wouldn't be surprised if they've got another Thor series already lined up, and it might even lead into it. But yeah, Thor, to me, it's been an absolute letdown. I was excited to see what Torrin could do with it, but it's just, it's not working for me. That cover, John, will never happen in that book. Or maybe it will towards the end of the arc. Who knows? But to me, before I move on to the next one, this is my final take on this Thor series. So we're talking about Thor and Doctor Doom right here on this. And the issue is, like John just said, the cover is never going to happen in the book. They already established the Black Winter in the very beginning, and they made the hint that Black Winter might come back. I think even Donny Cates said that Black Winter was going to come back. You gave us that little tease with Thanos with the whole Infinity Mjolnir. Now they're hinting at there's another Infinity Gem as well, like the Black Gem or Blackstone, whatever they were calling it. And that's been the big thing for this series to me, and I think that's been the big thing for a lot of other people. They're waiting to see what happens with that arc. That's what a lot of people have been anticipating. But now with the introduction of Doctor Doom and everything that's going on with him, I don't want to spoil too much for you guys, but he's trying to get like a god's power. Like he wants to not become a god. He says specifically he doesn't want to become a god, but he wants that power. That's almost as if that's the new villain they're building up for. And that's not something you're just going to do within one arc, maybe 2 arcs at the most, but it seems like they're building something big, and he's really aiming to do something big. And it's going to lead, actually, Carnage isn't this week. I think that's next week. But that's basically what Carnage has been this entire time. We're, I think, 12 issues now, maybe 13 issues. 13 is the next one, I believe. Maybe it's 12, either way. Carnage has been trying to become a god. He's been trying to get these new powers from all these other villains so he can be this almighty being that can take over. That's been the plot the entire time, and like I said, that's coming up on 12, 13 issues, and they're still hinting that that's what's going to be happening for the foreseeable future. So for the introduction of Doctor Doom, that level of a villain, that seems like something that they're going to have to continue on with for a little while, if you know what I'm saying. And I don't know how much longer I can put up with this series. It's not that good. It's really not. Let's see. Will Moss is the editor on Thor, and Michelle Marchese is the assistant editor. Well, maybe someone needs to send them some emails. I think eventually Donny Cates is supposed to come back. It just seems to be taking longer. I feel like he's not going to come back. We talked about it with Ram V leaving Marvel. There's some other Ryan Otley isn't going to be doing any long stuff, but not just that, but he's not going to be doing anything with Marvel or DC either anymore. He's going back to independently owned. So at that rate, if Donny Cates sees the success on Image and some of these other publishers that he might be writing for, what reason should he come back to Marvel? Because I don't know what they pay. I really don't, but I can't imagine it's all that much money. So moving on, the next one. Oh, Marvel actually had a pretty decent week despite starting off with Thor. I'd say overall, this is a pretty solid week. I thoroughly enjoyed a lot of these books. This one, let's talk about Deadpool. This is issue number 5 next. This is cover A. I like the series. I really do. I don't think there's a lot to this series. 5 issues. The plot's been basically the same exact thing the entire time. I think if you're not a Deadpool reader, or I should say if you are a Deadpool reader, you probably knew what you were getting into. There's not a whole hell of a lot of Deadpool series out there that are really plot heavy and just like some, dialogue series where it goes in deep with some of the characters and some of the other things that are happening. It's Deadpool. He's a corny-ass character. He likes to crack some jokes. He likes to be violent, fighting, action. And that's exactly what this series is. If you go into this with any other expectation of just not Deadpool, just, I was gonna say fucking some shit up, and I thought about it, but I said screw it. We're gonna say it anyway. If he's not just fucking some shit up, then you're in the wrong series. This isn't a plot-heavy series. There isn't a lot of just stuff going on. Well, there's actually some good stuff going on behind the scenes because we have that group still called the Atelier. Let me show you some artwork in this one. But this one, I'm pretty positive this is the end of the arc for this. They pretty much wrapped up everything that they've been building up to. And I mean, the artwork is great. This series overall, I'm having a lot of fun with it. And K-Bar says the same thing. I'm feeling the same way. I don't think Donny Cates is coming back. But this one, so if you can recall, the Harrower, she's not teamed up with Doc Ock, but kind of teamed up with Doc Ock. She put a Carnage symbiote within Deadpool, and she's been growing it the entire time. And now it grew, it came out, and she was, that's pretty much what they were leading to the entire time. Like I said, there's not a lot of plot going on in this series, so I don't particularly want to ruin the only plot that happened in this issue. But that's really what it is. Playa says it's good, dumb fun. That's all it is. A lot of fun, really cool action. It's pretty gory, too. Let me see look at it. That's the cover. You see Carnage just popping out of Deadpool. That's what a lot of it is. He's cracking jokes at one point. He's saying, my insides are falling out. I got to put them back together, whatever that was. Cletus Cassidy, although he's doing something else in a whole different series, he made a small little appearance in this one, too. That's the best way to describe it. Good, dumb fun. Great action, but there is an underlying plot, everything going on with the Atelier. You've also got these characters in this one. Lady Deathstrike and Valentina, was it Vuong? And that's what they are. They got some stuff going on behind the scenes with the Atelier. So you've got the Atelier, you've got the Harrower trying to create or recreate another Carnage symbiote. Valentine and Deadpool's kind of little love thing going back and forth. Doc Ock's got his thing going on behind the scenes. So I'm going to be real with you guys. Of all the Deadpool stuff that I've read recently, and I got about halfway through the Pazin and Dugan omnibus. I didn't read the whole thing, but I really enjoyed that so far, and I think this is off to an equally really good start. I do highly recommend checking this one out. I hope you guys are enjoying this series too, because, like I said, $3.99 for the issues, and it's been a lot of fun. Where is Cates? Well, he's still writing for... Cates is still writing for Vanish. Seems like the whole point of this was to get Deadpool to make out with the new love interest. I can agree with that. They have been really hinting at that pretty much the entire time, but for some odd reason, I over the last couple of issues, I got the feeling that she was not screwing over Deadpool, but she had some ulterior motives, and she was kind of leading him on. That's what I was getting out of it. But based on this issue, they kind of went a different direction, and she was like, "No, that's my boy." I think she even called him my boyfriend, and she told Lady Deathstrike, like, "All right, we got to go save my boyfriend," and that's what it was. But I didn't have a problem with that. Like I said, I thought it was a fun issue, and I really liked the artwork. My 2 cents says, I heard a rumor Cates is working on a secret project for Marvel, but no info as of yet. I'm not going to say it's going to be good or it's going to be bad, but I think with all the hype that Donny Cates gets, I don't think any of it is really, I don't know. I don't think a lot of it lives up to the hype. I mean, look at, what was it? Vanish. Although I've heard Vanish is pretty good. I only read the first issue, maybe the second issue too. I don't remember. But the first issue was really solid from what I can recall. What was the other one where all the different characters were coming together, and then in the latest arc, they started killing off writers? Whatever that series is, that one, Crossover. You like that one? I did see, or I did hear that the second arc was so much better, and I regret not picking that one up because I didn't think the first arc was good at all. Oh, and Lyle, I saw someone mention it. I think it was John. I hope you're doing really good, man. That's sad to hear what happened with the car accident yesterday, but man, I'm glad to see you're doing well. Could anyone live up to? Well, I guess I can agree with that. I don't know where this like Donny Cates hype comes from, because yeah, his Venom series was good, but outside of that, like, I don't know. Baby Teeth wasn't that good. I didn't like the vampire series from Image that he did. What was that? Redneck. I didn't think that was that good. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's on Venom and it's the greatest thing that's ever existed. And now he's got Absolute Carnage, and now he's got King in Black, and both of those really weren't that great either. Absolute Carnage wasn't bad, though, I'll say that. But I don't know. Hulk was terrible. Hulk was absolute dog shit. And I don't know. I don't get the love. I don't. He is solid these days. You know what? I can say that I can at least rely on his stuff a little bit more than a lot of other people's. Didn't people really like his Thanos book? I forgot about Thanos. Thanos was very good. The first half of Thanos was better than the second half, though. The second half I didn't like as much, but overall, still a good read that I recommend. Next one I want to talk about, let's see, I'm going to go, like I said, if you guys are just tuning in now, I'm going to be going through all the Marvels, and then I'm going to try to do it by publisher. These books are in no order. Towards the end, when I'm done reviewing everything, we're going to hop into the tier maker and rank all these books. Next one. This one, I'm a really big fan of this series, but part of me thinks that this kind of second volume feels a bit rushed in comparison to the first one. We got Strange Academy Finals, issue number 5. And I say that because this is technically a new volume to the series. They went, I think, 1 through 15 for Strange Academy. And then for whatever reason, they decided to call it Strange Academy Finals. Brand new series. If you're interested in this one, you cannot jump into this just as is. You are going to be incredibly lost. They should have just called it 16 or whatever the next number was and be done with it. I don't know. It felt a little rushed in my opinion. I know that they've been building up a lot of stuff this entire time, and I'm going to start with some of my problems before I tell you why I still really enjoyed the issue. Some of the problems I had with this one is that it starts off a little odd. I thought the last issue was a little odd as well, where they kind of jump past saving Calvin and everybody from Gaslamp or Gaslight. I think it's Gaslamp. And they just went to save the town instead, and then all that other stuff was going on, and it kind of felt out of place. Now, this one starts off where it's the end of the school year, and they're going to be celebrating, all of the kids. They're talking about the kids and some other stuff going on. And all of a sudden, the war just breaks out, and they're like, this is what the prophecy foretold. This is what we've all been leading up to. And Voodoo over here and all the other guys are like, no, we got to let the kids lead the charge. That's what the prophecy says. I don't know. I feel like that's not how things typically would go, in my opinion. Strange Academy and the Chamber of Secrets, yeah. Strange Academy is a fantastic series. Seems like they have been told. I swear I talk about this all the time. That is what it always feels like with Marvel. They've got something good on their hands. And I know I just got done saying all that about Donny Cates, but his Venom series around the mid-20s, pushing the 30s, it started losing it a little bit more. And it's like, what's going on? This was really well written, and everything's slowly starting to feel rushed. I'm very convinced he had a lot more plans with all that Beyond stuff in the Ultimate Universe or whatever universe that was, with all like the Venomized characters. And in King in Black, I feel like he had a lot more planned for that, and Marvel kind of wanted him to wrap it up so they could restart on a new Venom series. That is the vibe I'm starting to get from this with this series and some of these last issues. They did an incredible job building up all these characters. And at the same time, that's why a lot of people said they're not a huge fan of Strange Academy, because I get it. It has been a little bit slower, but I feel attached to all of these characters. I'm interested to see where they go. I want to see what happens to them. And now that they've established this war, I was really pumped for that too. Now we've got basically two sides fighting. We got Doyle and his whole crew, and now Emily and whoever she has on her side. That's great. And because it's like, oh my goodness, we've read all these issues with Emily being the top character and her friends, and all of a sudden they're all split and they're trying to fight. And obviously some stuff is going on with Emily. But with this now, it really feels like build up, and just let it happen. And I don't know. I don't like the way that they're doing it, because like Mark said, this has been a phenomenal series. And now the final thing, I don't want to spoil it too much, but I really, really did not like the ending to this issue. I thought it was completely out of place. I didn't think it worked. And if you guys are reading this series, you're going to know what I'm talking about. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but it felt like it didn't really make any sense, and it shouldn't have happened at all. I'm okay with them kind of jumping to the end of the year and saying, all right, we're going to be celebrating, and bang, all of a sudden Dormammu shows up with his army and Emily is there and all hell's going to break loose. I'm cool with that. But then when the parents started to get involved, and Voodoo and the entire class of all the teachers, they were like, yeah, we're going to step back and let the kids lead the charge because that's what the prophecy said. I didn't think that really made a whole lot of sense, but when, the parents then, no. And I'm starting to get that vibe now too. It's almost as if they want it to be rushed for an ending to completely give it a revamp or a restart. But overall, so that's the negatives. I kind of put the positives in there with it, but overall, I still think it was a good issue. I really do love this series. So I don't know. I saw some other people. Oh, and Connor, I'm waiting for an omnibus for Strange Academy. I think that's worth it. I think it would be a fun one. I don't know if they're going to be able to fill enough for a real Omni, but I know they have, they got some thin ones over there. I think Marvel Editorial aren't helping themselves. They have all this talent and not letting them do their best stuff. I really do think that they want too much say. They want things to fit their narratives and whatever Marvel wants going on, Marvel, Disney. They're not letting the creative writers be creative. They might say like, oh yeah, you can take over the next Invincible Iron. That's all right. Well, that's what I'm going to review next week as the Invincible Iron Man. But think of it that way. They're saying, like Jerry Dugan, sure, you can take over the Invincible Iron Man series, but here's what you have to do. You have to include this character. You have to make Tony Stark this way, and you have to also do this. So it's almost as if he's trying to create this story within whatever they want them to create. So it's just their forced writing. I don't know. And you can really tell. For a lot of these comics, you can really tell when things feel rushed, when you want them to just kind of end things or throw a character in that makes no sense at all. Going back to Thor. Dr. Doom shouldn't have been in this. Dr. Doom should not be in this series at all. He makes no sense. Everything that's going on in this series right now doesn't really make sense. It did make sense. To me, it honestly did make sense until they threw Dr. Doom into it. Because if you do remember from the beginning stages, when I think it was the last issue of the first arc of Thor, when Thor sees the vision of what's going on in the future, and that's with Thanos, with the Mjolnir, Infinity Hammer, and all the dead behind him. That's what they led to. In this arc, it's like, where's all the dead? The dead is gone. What is this black stone? Is this a new infinity gem? What's going on with this? That made so much sense. I was like, yes, here we go. We're finally getting the ball rolling. And they're throwing Doctor Doom into the mix? No. The reason they're throwing Doctor Doom into this comic and so many other comics right now is most likely because Doctor Doom is going to be showing up sooner than later into the MCU. That's just my opinion on that, but if you go back and look at all the other comics and see which characters are starting to get a little bit more spotlight or a little kind of mini series or a solo series, that's because they're going to be in the MCU, whether it's on the Disney Plus streaming service or a movie. That's just how it's been. So my opinion is Doctor Doom is definitely coming sooner than later. North 49, the mouse is a tyrant. That's how it seems right now. But back to this one, I continue to say this is a solid series. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's not like the best thing I've ever read from Marvel, but it is way better than I thought it was going to be, and it's really keeping my interest, if that says anything. I think the artwork is extremely nice. I don't think it's the same artist from the last series, but it kind of reminds me of it. Oh, and same thing. That just based on this page, why throw Doctor Doom in there? He's actually not in this issue. But there's no reason for Doctor Doom to actually even be in this issue. I mean, I know he's kind of recalling things that happened in the past, but that kind of furthers my opinion on what I said. I think he's going to be coming sooner than later to the MCU because he's starting to show up in all these comics, whether it's he's playing a role, not playing a role, he's there. So with this one, we finally get to see who has been behind everything, who's kind of taken over Stark Enterprises, who kind of depleted him of his money, who's using all of his new technology. We figure all that out in this issue. I think Fei Long. I just want to make sure I said his name right. That's the fella right there. I call it a spoiler, but you find it out on like the first page of the book, so it's not really a big spoiler. But you find out he's the one that's behind everything, and I like how the issue started because you get to see Tony Stark's take on a lot of things that's been going on in his life, but you also get to see Fei Long's take on the very first page. You get to see his take on the very first page and what kind of led him to be doing all of this stuff. What sucks is I didn't read the Avengers, and that's what it references. Check out the Avengers. Oh, my bad. It says, check out the Avengers, issue number 3 right there. So that's where his motives have come from. So sadly, it didn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me because I didn't read the Avengers, but at the same time, they did a good job explaining things. I like both of those takes in the very beginning of the issue, and then the rest of it has just been a lot of action. The whole issue is pretty much action. Boss Keen, is that Iron Man series worth picking up if you like Iron Man? I'm going to be honest. In my opinion, I think so. I think it's been well written. I like the artwork. I don't want to call this my least favorite issue of the series so far, but I honestly really enjoyed the other ones. That doesn't mean because it's my least favorite, this was a bad issue by any means. It was still a good issue and I did enjoy it. But this one was more of an action one. There was a lot of stuff going on between Fei Long and Iron Man. They're kind of calling each other out. He's like, well, I did this. Fei Long saying, I did this because you guys did this all this time, and you could still help me, Tony. You could do this with me. We could do this together. And he's like, no, I'm going to take you down. I'm going to get my technology. I'm going to get my company back. I'm going to do all this stuff, and I'm going to beat your ass in the process. So that's basically what this whole issue was. It was a fun one, but I think the other ones, to me, I enjoyed them a lot more because it was a mystery. It's who is sending these kind of Iron Men, there's no one like pilot them. It's on autopilot. Like it's just AI you doing it. But who is sending them after Tony Stark? Who's blowing up these buildings? Who's trying to take over the company? And I thought that was really cool. So now that the mystery's been unveiled, it takes away from it a little bit, but still very well written. I'm enjoying it. I saw someone else say they weren't a big fan of it. Hey, Joshua Alvey, what's going on, man? I'm having a good day. I hope you are too. I appreciate you tuning in. Not really read much Iron Man, but been picking this up. All right, cool. I thought that was the comment I read before. It said they didn't really like it. But yeah, Ink, same thing. I haven't read a ton of Iron Man. I did pick up all the Alex Ross stuff, but I didn't read any of that, or the Alex Ross stuff I call the last volume that had all the Alex Ross covers. I picked all of them up strictly for the covers. I heard it wasn't good though. I heard it wasn't a bad series, but I was pretty deep into it. And I talked about it. I said I didn't have any of it, and then I found like 1 through 13 in the dollar bin. I thought, why would I not grab it? And then I just picked them up from there, and I think it ended at 20 or 25. But I'll read it probably one day. With Marvel Comics being absorbed, this is only going to get worse for the likes of Doom. Yeah, but that's what it is. That's what I'm saying. When you see characters show up like that, that's because they want people to get a feel for who these characters are again. Little reminder. That's why Moon Girl, look at that. Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur got an ongoing series. We all knew that she was getting a little Disney Plus TV show. No one knew when it was coming out. It just like came out one day. I think it was, I think it was KO Hearn. I don't think he's in chat right now, but I think KO was like, hey, are you going to be watching Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur? It comes out tonight on, it was not Disney Plus, but Disney's like the channel Disney, their own streaming service. And in that next week, I think it all dropped on Disney Plus. And I had no idea. I didn't watch it yet, but it's those little things. When you see them get their own series, characters you haven't really heard of, you haven't heard from a long time, they're starting to make appearances in these shows. Mark says, I haven't been enjoying Iron Man. I was hoping for a better run after Cantwell's. Cantwell's awful run. Like I said, I heard it was really bad. But sadly, I do think this one's good though. Have I been reading Batman Deadly Duo? I have not been. I've heard very good things. I was going to wait for a hardcover. I was debating on getting it yesterday. I'm sure they still have more, but I saw Deadly Duo. They had one of those bigger DC books where it's issues 1 through 3. I was debating on getting that, but I grabbed 14 issues this week, so it was a little bit expensive week for me. So I was a little picky about what I was grabbing. I got hooked on one of the connecting suit covers. Oh, I didn't even know they had one. Hey, KO, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you were the one that mentioned the Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur. But those are all the Marvel books that I grabbed. So I'd say overall, pretty solid week for Marvel for the stuff that I read. The only one that I actually just didn't enjoy at all was Thor. I didn't think that was good. But the other ones I think they did a great job on. And he likes Iron Man too. So what was it? Mark doesn't like Iron Man, so take that for what it is. I think it's good. I don't think it's like some crazy good series, but I think it's worth it. Let's see. What are we going to talk about next? We'll talk about... Oh, wait, no, I do have one. Oh, shit, I got 2 more Marvel. Hold on. Hold your horses, everybody. I got 2 more Marvel. All right, hold up. Here we go. Next one, Daredevil, issue number 9. This is cover A. This one's written by Chip Zdarsky. Oh, I just want to give everyone else a shout out that wrote these comics. We got Jerry Dugan on this on Iron Man. Artwork is for Gary, Thor, Torrin Grombeck, and then Gideon is the artwork, the artist. Sorry about that. And then obviously Strange Academy Final, Scotty Young, Humberto Ramos. And then Deadpool, we got Alyssa Wong as the writer and Kokolo as the artist. I don't know the first name of Kokolo off the top of my head, but yeah, I just want to give a shout out to all the writers and artists. I always say like, oh, I didn't like the writing, I didn't like the art, I think it's bad, but always comes down to a personal opinion. I can't write for shit, and I definitely can't draw to save my life, so I appreciate the work that does get put into these books, despite might not being my thing. But this one, written by Chip Zdarsky, we also got Garcia on the artwork. I did not get Clobber in time. I figured that was going to be a waste of my money. This was a really good issue. I'm really impressed with this series. I wasn't completely sold on it in the very beginning because it's picked up where the last one left off, and I didn't finish reading the other Chip Zdarsky series. Now, I will say in this one, they did bring the I think it's Stromwinds. I think that's how you pronounce it. They brought them back into the series, and if you didn't read the last series, you're not going to know who they are at all. I think it said issue 16 or 18 was the reference. It says Sea Punisher. Actually, I don't think they do have any reference to the old series, but either way, the Stromwinds are in this one. They are like this ultra rich, I want to call them like multi-billionaire type family. They have a ton of power and they control a lot of stuff. So they're starting to play a role in this one again. But this one, from the last issue, that massive war happened. Everything, all the fighting between Daredevil, Punisher, the Hand, and the Fist, everything went down in that last issue. And this is kind of, I don't want to call it a little bit slower, like it's a recovery issue, but I guess you can call it kind of a recovery issue like that. They're trying to figure out their next steps. We still got Daredevil and Elektra. They're trying to destroy the totem. I believe that's what they called it. The totem that they had to get during the war. They had to destroy it because that's how they're going to fulfill the prophecy. But at the same rate, that's not the best part about this issue, in my opinion, because they did progress the plot quite well. But I think with this one, the best part about it is that you're seeing the hangover on everybody. You're seeing them hurt. Some of them got killed in that last issue, and they're just like, I don't know if this is what I signed up for. I think I'm just going to leave. But now you've got Daredevil, who's, he's still trying to fulfill this prophecy with Elektra, and who else is in this? Is it Stick? Is that who's in this one? Yeah, and Stick's in this one too. So they're trying to get they're trying to fulfill this prophecy, and everybody that they broke out of the prison, everyone that they were, trying to rehabilitate, they're not interested in doing that anymore. They're like, I'm trying to just move on. I'm trying to go back. I'm trying to live my life, and this isn't what I wanted to sign up for. So they're starting to leave, and now they don't really know what to do next. So this is a really fun issue. I truly recommend this series. And Ink says the same thing. Can't get enough Zdarsky on Daredevil. He's doing a killer job. And the artwork, you gotta check this artwork out. This is the best. This is phenomenal artwork. I'm trying to get a good page for you guys. They're all good, but it's dark, it's gritty. There's a lot of details on these characters. And I like it because it's just so different than so much other stuff that's going on with Marvel's art. I talk about it a lot. I think there's a lot of art right now in Marvel that's just not good. It doesn't look like there's detail. It doesn't look like there's care or like time and effort that gets put into a lot of this stuff. Like, I'd hate to go back and use, Thor as an example once again, but the comparison between that and just this, it's just not that good in comparison. It's really not. No, I didn't see the Elektra. I think it was Elektra on it this week, but I didn't see that one. But what I will say is, while I move on to the final one from Marvel, I did get the Alex Ross Timeless for Venom Lethal Protector. This is volume 2, issue number 1. I'm gonna be real with you guys. This was another killer issue for Marvel, and I don't say that too often because I don't think Marvel kills it on a lot of issues anymore. But this cover, Alex Ross did an incredible job. What I will say, a lot of people complain about these Timeless variants is that they say it's too dark. It's some of the characters' faces and bodies are way too shaded. I think this one is perfect. It might be one of my favorite ones that I've seen recently. I think the colors are great. I don't think it's too dark. I think he just did a wonderful job on this one. But I will say I was very surprised with this issue too. I said it on Tuesday's chat. Well, during the Tuesday stream, I said the only way that I'm going to get this Lethal Protector is if I can get the Timeless Alex Ross variant. Well, here it is. The only reason I got it, and I'm going to definitely continue on with this series. Way better than I thought it was going to be. The artwork was great. Who's on this one? Is it Michelini? Is that who it is? David Michelini is the writer. Fareed Karami is the penciler. Arif Prianto, color artist, and then Travis Lehman is the letterer. If I'm going to be honest with you guys, it kind of reminded me of an old school Venom series. Oh, nice. Bought all 5 Alex Ross covers. Iron Man was the best read. Nice. Daredevil reminds me a little like Joe Quesada's Daredevil run. I could see that. I could see where that comes from. Like I said, it's a really good read. I highly recommend checking this one out. But this one kind of reminds me of an old school Venom series. It kind of takes me back a little bit, like I was reading, not the original Lethal Protector, but honestly, some Venom comics from back in the day. The artwork is just, man, everything about this, it really surprised me. And I guess going back, the first Lethal Protector volume that came out, like 2 years ago? Maybe a year ago, 2 years ago at this point? Thinking about that really wasn't that bad of a read either. I think I even said the same thing, like, wow, this one actually really surprised me too. And Mark says, everything you loved about Venom back in the day. Yeah, that's what this reminded me of. You got Eddie. He's kind of this hothead. He still has that mentality of, man, Spider-Man ruined my life. I love Anne. I got to get her back. And then you just got this Venom, like, let's eat some brains. Let's just kill them instead. Let's eat them. This was fun. A lot of action. A lot of really good action happened in this one. It was Silver Sable made an appearance. I think Nick Fury made an appearance in this one. Look at that stupid-ass Spider-Man 2099 Dark Genesis ad right there, man. I'm tired of these events. I'm telling you. There's too many Carnage events going on right now. We got one happening with Miles Morales. We're going to have one with Spider-Man 2099. I'm tired of that crap. Got to move on. But man, seriously, this is what I'm talking about. Look at this. It's so action-packed. But not a problem. I was going to say the thing on top of that is that they actually developed a story in this one too. They did a great job developing this story. I like this first issue more than the first issue of the last miniseries. I 100% agree with that one too. This one takes me back. Like I said, this one really reminds me a lot of old school Venom. The other one, I feel like I remember reviewing that and I said it reminds me of old school Venom, but it also has some really cheesy, stupid things going on in it. Like that one character, was it Humbug? I think that was a really kind of dumb villain to have in there. And all the other stuff that was going on, it was okay. This one, though, they did a phenomenal job with it. So it's just like what I was saying, where Venom, he's just, he's trying to be a good guy, but at the same time, he just goes about, instead of hurting people, he takes it one step further. He pretty much saves Silver Sable's entire team, and that's when Nick Fury reaches out like, yo, we reached out to you because we thought you were the best, and then in reality, she's kind of like, oh, well, I might try to see what Eddie's up to because we're going to need him for this team as well. Tasty cover. Not to quote you, but I believe you said that if the current Venom series was anything like the new Lethal Protector series, then you would be more of a fan. I honestly, I feel like I remember saying that too. Something to that extent. Because the new Venom series is trash. 100% trash. I've been debating on dropping that for the longest time ever. And especially now that Rom V's off of it, I'm probably not going to be continuing on with it. But that's what we need. We don't need this soft Eddie Brock. And I understand, he's getting a little bit older. Well, you say that, but no one really ages in the Marvel Universe. But they're showing him he's older. He's got a kid now and all that. So I get the whole, I got to save my son. I got to find out what's going on with him. But no, we need an ongoing Venom series just like this. This is only going to be, I think, a 5-issue miniseries. And it's just not it. We need more. This is what this character is. And I think David Michelinie did a great job capturing Venom in this one. And if you are a Venom fan, I would really pick this one up. This one really made me happy again to read these comics. I stopped reading ASM, so I don't have really any Spidey in my life anymore. The current Venom series is pretty bad. The last Venom series ended on a rough note, in my opinion. I wasn't a big fan of King in Black. But then this was good. This was really good. That too, Glenn. Alex Ross cover is incredible. The only reason I picked up the second series, they should have let PKJ do the Symbiote Suicide Squad instead of the Summer of the Symbiotes. Dude, we had a symbiote event last summer, right after King in Black and right after Absolute Carnage. It went right into Extreme Carnage, right into a Carnage ongoing series, and now we're about to have a Carnage Miles Morales event, and then a Carnage Spider-Man 2099 event. I can't do it. I'm so incredibly burnt out on some of these characters, and they're characters that I really love too, which really sucks. Shell's a great Silver Age writer. And let's see, I think I missed some other comments in there. Maybe I didn't. Actually, I think I'm all caught up. Cool. So now that's officially all of the Marvel issues. So what I will say, I'm just going to tell you straight up, this is the best Marvel one that I read this week. This one was top notch. Daredevil was really good. They were all really good, but that one was on another level in my opinion. Speaking on another level, I got to talk about this one real quick with you guys. This one's from Whatnot. Oh, hold on. Bone Factor AR, I forgot to say I picked up Plush. Ooh. Man, I hope you enjoy it, man. I told you, that's a fun series. I know when I talk about, though, I always say it might be more worthwhile getting in a trade paperback when it comes out because I think it's only 6 issues when it's all said and done, but it's a fun one. It's a fun one. So as I was saying, I got to talk about this one. This is another one where I said I'm only going to grab it if I can get the homage cover. I don't know if you guys can really see it all that well on camera because it still looks nice as I'm looking at it right now. But for those of you who pick this one up and you like physically have it, is it just me, or is that like extremely blurred? And like I said, it looks nice on camera. It really does. But I feel like when you're looking at it, it looks very cloudy. It looks a little blurry. And at first I was like, I don't know if this is my vision or not. But it looks like, because you have so much detail on the exile down there. Like the font is really crisp. It looks nice. Wesley Snipes up at the top. It's crisp. But when you see this picture of him, it looks blurry to me. It doesn't look like it has this nice crisp detail like everything else has on the cover. It looks a little foggy. And like I said, I don't know if that's just me, but that's how it looks to me. And now another quick thing that I want to say about this one before I get into it, because I will tell you straight up, I like the issue. I think it was good. But the problem is I feel as though it doesn't have a lot of, I don't want to say quality control, but I couldn't find it. I was talking about it on the EXP stream last night, and I tried finding it during the stream, and I feel bad because I forgot to look at it today, or I forgot to recheck it out. But I'm pretty positive I caught 3 grammar errors in this book. And I don't know if maybe that's just me. Maybe my grammar isn't that great. But there was a few things that I feel as though if you're putting out as a published book, someone should have caught that. If me, a casual, not super intelligent person like that, would it be able to catch, then I'm pretty sure a lot of other people would be able to catch that as well. Like there was one where I'm talking, this is some minor stuff. Well, this one's super minor. Like there was this random comma that shouldn't have been somewhere. But then the 2 other ones that I caught, there was something off with the sentence where either a word was spelled wrong or the word that was there shouldn't have been there. And it made the sentence sound really bad. And I know they do put slang in this book. There are some, I was going to say some of these pages aren't really that good to put up, but this one looks clean. So like you have something like this, and they do put slang in this book. There's a lot of phrases where it's slang. So I take that into consideration, but when you're reading the sentence and it doesn't actually make sense, like I said, I don't know if that's just me. Like I wish I found it. If I can, I'll give it a reread and then I'll post it. I'll post it somewhere just to get somebody else's opinions. But yeah, I caught a few things that I feel as though someone who's, like an editor, they should probably have caught that. But either way, very, very minor things aside, I thought it was a good issue. I still feel as though the story is kind of all over the place, and it's not. I'm going to say the same thing about all the Whatnot books that I've read so far. And I saw Play's comment on this. Haven't found a Whatnot book that really has me yet. Same thing. I feel like they've got good ideas, and none of these ideas are fully developed. They feel like they're just kind of baked, and they just jump straight into everything. But the characters are all over the place. The plot's all over the place. There's cool action going on. There's cool stuff happening, but it doesn't feel like it's been developed properly, and it just feels like they're trying to give you the old the old Michael Bay treatment, like, here, take this explosion and take this action and forget about all these other random things that's going on in this series, because we're trying to get your attention away from that because we clearly haven't developed that properly. KO, I agree with that too. There's a lot of editors that just aren't that good these days. Not to say there aren't good ones, but there's been a lot of issues with some comics. And that was just, some small things about this. I think the ending is what really pulled me in, but so I'm going to spoil it for you guys, because they kind of were hinting at it earlier that there's something off with this murderer, that there's something weird going on with a lot of people. They're trying to create some, alien human hybrid. And that's a really cool, unique idea if I wasn't already reading that in the current Alien volume from Marvel, because that's literally what's going on. They've decided to start trying to create alien human hybrids. And that's what's going on in this book. This one just has a lot more explosions and action and isn't as well developed. So it's one of those things. I'm interested in that. I'm a big Alien fan. I like monsters, and those types of, these types of books really, they really pull me in because I like that type of stuff. I like horror books. Not saying this is a horror book, but stuff with monsters. I do like that a lot. But I'm currently reading a series just like that. Although they did just pretty much wrap it up. So I recently read something similar to this that was a lot more well developed, and I don't know. We'll see. If I don't think I'm going to continue on with this one. Playa says spelling and grammar errors break the immersion. I agree with that because I'm reading it, and while it's not bad, the other complaint, I talked about this one in the last when I reviewed the first issue, and this is totally personally just my opinion. I feel like the writing in the text is extremely small. Like I gotta put it all the way up here just so it pops up for you guys. Like it's extremely close to my camera right now. So it's very small, and because it's very small, I feel like on some pages the word or the letters kind of blend a little bit together. And like I said, it could just be me, could be my eyes, my vision's not perfect, but it's a very minor problem that I had with this issue. So overall, not horrible, not the best either. It's just, it is what it is. That's the only one I got from Whatnot. I think that's the only one that they came out with this week. Ink, have you seen the April Fool's Day Batman covers? Yeah, I did. They are I've seen, I think, 2, and I don't think they're that nice at all. I'm pretty positive I could draw that. Ninja Funk, I only read the first issue. It was really bad, though. I don't understand the hype behind it. I don't understand why people are making all these covers saying, oh, it's a Ninja Funk exclusive. Who cares? It's a terrible read. The artwork is god-awful, and the story is really bad, too. I'm psyched for Hickman's Ultimate Universe this summer and his new book, Gods, coming out in 2023, a retelling of Starling stuff. Oh, that'd be cool. The only problem I have with the Ultimate Universe stuff from Hickman, if it's the one I'm thinking of, they're all like $10 issues. The kindest way that I can phrase it is that during these waves of job cuts at the big 2, the editorial staff was decimated for the most part. The good editors were the first to go because they were probably too good or too picky or too something. But I agree. I totally agree with that. There's, with everything that happened with the pandemic, and I know you guys know too, once the pandemic hit, there was a dip in quality in a lot of books. People were getting let go. People decided to do things on their own. And that's when you did see a lot of these writers decide to take things into their own hands. They did, what was it called? Substack. So we had stuff like that. And, they made money their own way. Expensive. Yeah. And what was left was inexperienced and overworked. And I'm not going to say I disagree with that, but it sucks that they're not getting paid enough money. It sucks that they're overworked, but at the same time, Marvel needs to look at that as I don't even know how much money Marvel's worth, but the multi-billion dollar organization that they are, and say, hey, maybe we should put a little bit more effort and care into these books, because the only reason Marvel's successful still is because of the comic book fans that branched out into all of these other fans. They told them about this stuff, and we'll see what happens going forward. But that's why actually, Marco, that's going to be the next one on my list, so we're going to be getting to that just shortly. Marvel did just do more layoffs. Yeah, that's the only problem, Mark, is it doesn't feel like there's an effort. Disney. Yeah, I heard they just I read something yesterday or today. I don't know if I read something new today, but I saw something yesterday about it. And the name changes. I heard Ninja Funk was not good. I'm getting exiled in Comic Tom mystery box. Nah, Ninja Funk's not good. Ninja Funk from the first issue, it wasn't good in my opinion, and I heard it only got worse. The people I talked to that continued reading it, they said it wasn't good at all. This probably is the best thing that I've read. The Exile, this is probably the best thing I've read from Whatnot so far. Whatnot to me is, though, just a cheap cash grab. They want exclusive covers. They want hot covers. They want to push that. Because in reality, if they keep making nice covers and the story's just subpar, they're going to keep pumping out those covers. But that's cool. You're going to be getting the Exiled in the Comic Tom mystery box. I don't know what that one looks like this month. I talked about it, I think, in Tuesday's stream or last Friday. I want to get one of those boxes. I've heard really bad things, but I've heard some good things about them as well. I personally don't like mystery boxes. I think they're a scam. But at least with Tom's, for the most part what you're getting into. You get like 2 prints or something and exclusive. So if you're buying the box, you're probably buying the box for those prints and those exclusives The rest of the junk is probably just junk for the most part, maybe a variant or two. But you know what you're getting into. It's not, you're spending $100 and you've got a chance at this book, but you also just get one 9.8 slab or some shit like that. Other than the Mac Ninja Funk cover, I passed on the comic. That's actually what I got to. I got the David Mack. I think that was cover A, though. It's not worth a read. If I had it next to me, I'd show you guys what it looks like, but it sucks. But that is it from Whatnot. That's it from Marvel. Let's see. We're going to do... actually, I did say Indigo Children was next, but I see that I have one issue from IDW. So I'm going to do IDW next. And it's Dead Seas. This is issue number 4. This is another issue that I really liked. I think the series overall has been good. I think it started off a lot better than it's been, though. In the beginning, I'll put it back up for you guys. In the beginning, it felt as though a lot of stuff was being developed. They started to meet some of these characters. We established what was going on in this ship. There's ghosts on there. There's inmates. They're trying to clean off and not capture, but just like, I don't know, house all this ectoplasm, because apparently in this world, when the ghost stayed, they release this ectoplasm and it can be used for medical purposes, so it sells for a shitload of money. And that's pretty much what it is. Inmates go and clean these ships, they clean all the ectoplasm, and they get a shorter sentence. It's a really cool concept. It's been really good. I felt as though this issue was very rushed. So I think it is supposed to be Elvis. They make a reference. Let me see. One of the characters that passes, I believe his name, I don't think his name was Elvis, but they call him Elvis. Yeah, here. This is the page. So they do make hints at it that Elvis is one of the ghosts or something. Yeah. Something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it is supposed to be Elvis, though. But then this issue, we already know all the ghosts are loose, but I think it's lost its originality because they started introducing a lot of new characters over the last 2 issues. And at this point, we're going through so many characters, I don't really remember who the main character was from the first issue anymore. Because we started to meet more and more inmates, the captain of the ship, the daughter that showed up, the kind of pirates that showed up to steal the ectoplasm. There's a lot of shit going on in this series, and I don't know if it's only a 5-issue series or what it's supposed to be. I'm sure I could look here. I can probably look that up really quick. Let's see. It is so 6 is coming out, and it doesn't say anything about it being a limited series. So, assuming they actually continue on with this series like it's supposed to be an ongoing, then I've got higher hopes for it, and I'm really excited to keep going on with this one. But if this was only going to be like a 5 or 6 issue miniseries, I think they probably did a bad job with it. But knowing that it's going to be longer than that, I'm sticking around with it because the artwork's been fine, and as I just got done saying, there's a lot going on in the story. There we go. They've done a good job with it so far. I really like these ghosts. I'm really excited to see the mother ghost that got released at the end of this issue. But I want to know what else this ship has been up to, because they're keeping some stuff from the actual family. Well, I guess the daughter that showed up, he's keeping some stuff from her. So it's been fun. I do really recommend it. If you're looking into getting into a new series, this is one that I recommend. 4 issues deep, so take that for what it is. Try to find some of the back issues for it, but as far as IDW goes and indie titles go, it's been fun, and it feels very unique. Crystal says Quested is a fun read. I will say Quested is one that I've been very interested in checking out. That was one that my shop never got, though, so that kind of sucks. Seeing that they actually got in every series but that one, and I think that was the only one that I thoroughly wanted to read. Preston at KO, do you think the layoffs are why Dynamite is making Disney comics like Gargoyles? I'm pretty positive that they struck a deal on the IP or the Disney IPs, and they just were able to do that stuff. I think they've done Disney in the past. I can't confirm that. I mean, somebody could look that up real quick, but I'm pretty positive Dynamite's done stuff with Disney before. So next up, let's move into Boom Studios, and then we'll wrap it up with Image, and then we can do all of the top lists. No, I don't think they're related because Disney has licensed their characters to other companies. That's what I think. I think they've done work with them in the past, and they were able to do it. I stopped Dead Seas after one. I take that back, KO. I think that's a good call. I think trade's probably a better way to go about it. At least then you can get a feel for where the series is going. It's what I just got done saying before with the Exiled. I like monsters. I like ghost stories. Those are the types of comics that I do really like. For card stocks. I just want to bring up in chat, Walking Dead is a reprint series, but still going strong with great card stocks. CJ, get out of here. And Spitzkoff Lair in the house. What's good, everybody? Hope you guys are all having a good day. And I always say, appreciate you guys for popping in, hanging out. I really like doing it this way. Next up, this is one I'm just gonna kind of breeze over. Because this is the one I had to read digitally, but it's The Approach, issue number 5. That's from Boom Studios. It is the end of the series. I've compared it to The Thing, the old John Carpenter movie from the past. I think that's a good way to compare it. We got our survivors. They're out in the middle of a snowstorm in kind of the middle of nowhere. They're trapped at an airport, and some random plane just comes back into existence. It just randomly showed up on the radar. They don't know how it came back. It's been missing for all these years, and a monster came with it. I feel like that's basically kind of what happened with The Thing to an extent, just like, a knockoff version of it. But it's been fun. They did a great job building up the tension throughout the series. It was a little bit more on the dark side. The monster was awesome. Plot, I don't want to say the plot's non-existent, but that's pretty much what the plot is. Find the monster, kill the monster, and survive. That's pretty much what it's been the entire time. 5th issue, wrapped it all up. This monster is enormous. It is loose, and everybody's trying to figure out how to stop it. That's what I'm going to leave you with, because there's not really much else going on in the series. They hinted at some things in the last couple of issues, and seeing that this was the last one, they didn't really dive into any of it. We didn't get any knowledge on any of it, so consider that just an L from them on that one. But overall, I think I just saw from Preston, he says Approach seems like a good candidate to pick up as a trade paperback, and I 100% agree with that. The issues are very quick. You can sit down and read them all in one sitting, no problem. Some of these other ones, like Marvel, some of these Marvel books felt quite long this week. So even in comparisons like that, you could probably read all of those Approach issues by the time you read maybe 2 of the Marvel issues from this week, if that puts anything in the perspective. Mark says definitely a Thing feel to it. Agreed. Approach has been fantastic. That's why I said it was a really good read. If you go into it with a plot, it's basically non-existent. But if you keep in mind that it's kind of like The Thing, John Carpenter movie, that's where it is. But the other one we're going to talk about next, Something is Killing the Children, issue number 30. This series, it's just a fucking chef's kiss. It's so good. I love everything about Something is Killing the Children. Boom Studios they got a World Series, Game 7, Grand Slam for the win with this one. This is exactly what this series is. It's perfection. Now, I'm sure if I go back and reread it, there's going to be some problems I have with it here and there. But overall, I can't say I've ever been let down by a Something is Killing the Children issue. Every time I pick it up, I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to be quality, and I'm going to be happy by the time I'm done reading it. This is a series I continue to recommend. I will continue to recommend this series until it's done. And I hope it's never done. I hope they just keep expanding this world into all these other characters. The way they're going, I mean, hell, for all we know, Erica could get killed off, or maybe they have her ride off into the sunset, and we got this little fucking spark plug, Gabby. Maybe she takes over as the next monster hunter, because she already knows the monsters exist now. And what else she got to lose? She could go out there and start killing some of these monsters once she gets maybe a little bit older. They've done an incredible job with it. Now we've got Cutter. She's the character on the main cover. She's terrifying. I'm going to show you one quick page. Let's see. Mark, real behind on Something is Killing the Children. Bro, you got to get the hardcover. I got one right here. I'm pretty positive they've got like a 2nd and 3rd print out for them. I really recommend getting it. It's like the first 15 or 16 issues in it or something. Let's see. I'm watching this from Germany. It's midnight over. Man, well, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you popping in, even though it's late. Robbie is all right. I don't agree with everything he says. Neither should you. I like getting multiple creators' opinions. That's what it is. And that's why I really like Robbie, because if you guys haven't tuned into him, the dude reviews everything. He reviews all the books pretty much every week. I think there's some weeks where the dude had like 20 plus issues to review, and I think that's more of a normal thing. He does a great job. He does a great, not super in-depth because he doesn't spoil everything, but he does a great job explaining the issue for what it is, kind of an overview. He gives his opinions on it. Very clear, very concise. I will always recommend Robbie from Pop Culture Philosophers. He's a nice guy. Never met him in person, though, so based on the internet, just social interactions, he seems like a very nice guy. Cyberpunk is a game. I heard it was god-awful, like a failure of a game because it was rushed and it was incomplete and basically broken on the day it was delivered. So that's a shame. Something's Killing Children is one of the best-smelling comics, too. All right, here we go. All right, first up, I got to show you this picture of Cutter. This is the picture of Cutter. She's terrifying. She's incredible. She's probably so far the best villain. She's probably the best villain in this series so far. And now for the smell. So who said it? Was it Kay? No. Marco. All right, let's get it going. Yeah, shit's nice. Shit's nice. It's a great book. It's a great book. Great smell, great artwork, great story, great cardstock cover. This is quality. Absolute quality. Absolute quality. I got Marco. Great call. Great call on your end. Let's see. See, Robbie read it and didn't like it. How don't you like that, man? Maybe I was gonna say maybe Robbie doesn't like horror books like that, but Robbie's a big horror guy. So that's crazy. Might have to reach out to him about that. See what his beef is. Yeah, he is at MegaCon. I'm a little jealous. I walk away with about 35 comics a week and only have time to read like 5. That they do, my friend. 35 though. I'm jealous. That page with Cutter. Yeah, dude, that's legit. The launch was awful, but it's been 2 years since its release. They polished the game. I was thinking of Something's Killing the Children. I was like, yeah, it's pretty undersold in the beginning. They polished the game. All right, that's cool at least. Because I had a friend that bought it, and he said it was unplayable. So that's cool. Spits, I set an alarm for AR. KO, that means a lot. I appreciate it. Don't play it on the old gen consoles. I only recommend on next gen or PC. That makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of crap that they come out with that's like, yeah, it's for like PS4 and Xbox One or 360, whatever they're on for Xbox. And no, it's not as good. It sucks, but the game is made for PS5 and the current Xbox. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, whoever asked about. So I saw someone say it earlier about Something's Killing Children. It is confirmed for Netflix, but it's probably going to suck. Marco says, "What console do I play my favorite current game?" I heard Netflix already canceled season 2. You stop that. They can't. If anything, they canceled it halfway through season 1. So I play on a PS5, but I play a lot of older games. One day I'm gonna have to show you guys. If I could turn this camera a lot easier and like lift it and move it, I'd show you. But I got 2 bookcases right here of like my video game, just kind of collection. I keep them all right there. But I'd say the game, I re-went through The Last of Us on Grounded. I actually just beat that 2 nights ago, and I started Last of Us Part 2 Grounded. And I remember we were talking about that the other night. The story's whatever. But man, that combat, the mechanics of that game is buttery smooth. Boom Studios is doing it right. Boom Studios does have really high quality books, but I will have one complaint when I talk about my next one. Robbie does have a really positive attitude. He talks very highly of a lot of books. I'd like to say that I talk positive and highly about a lot of books as well, but I tend to keep it as real as I possibly can. Like if I think it's poor quality or I think it sucks or I think that there's going to be issues with it. I mean, I know there's people who watch this literally to see if they are going to get that book for themselves or not. So if I can tell you it's a super low quality book, the story's all right, but the artwork, not for me. Here's a quick picture of it. But the paper quality shit, that may have deterred you from actually ordering that book. I took the hit for you guys. I'm okay with that. But I'd like you guys to make sure you know I'd like you guys to know exactly what you're getting into with some of these books, because as we said, you can go through the chat. There's a lot of crap that's been pumped out lately. Been cutting down, just need to stop by. Last of Us, I'm going from Xbox to PS5 for Last of Us. Oh, dude, God of War is incredible too. So here is this is the last one that came out from Boom Studios. We got Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. This is issue number 5. I got the foil cardstock cover because this was the only option my shop had. This shit was $7. You see that? Maybe? No, there we go. $7. That really took away from me enjoying this book a little bit. It was a great issue. I'm a big fan of this series. I love this series. But $7 for this? Oh my God. I read this in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I don't know. That was a huge turnoff. I'm gonna be real with you. It was a big turnoff. The cover itself is just okay. I don't think there's anything too special about it. I usually don't get the foil covers like this, but oh my gosh, $7. It was a waste of money for that. Still a good issue, but now what I will say about the issue, because as much as I do, if you're lost at sea, you can reflect. Yeah, you really could. Everyone's gonna see you from this one. That's $7. Worth it. I'd pay $7.50 if it was an oversized issue of some sort. Yeah, but look at DC. DC does cardstock covers, and they're only $1 more. What are they? $5? I think $5 is fair for cardstock foil cover. $7 though? I don't know about that. After tax. There we go. Disney covers yeah, I'm sure you're talking about Disney. Disney covers, I like them, but they're not. Oh wait, that's KO. Spider Slayer is good too. Spider Slayer is good too. I recommend checking him out as well. He gets a lot of books as well. So with this one, you guys already know, every time I read one of these issues, I've been putting them pretty high on my list. I think they've all been definitely all top 5. I think most of them hit either number 1 or number 1 to 3 range. This one, I feel like it was a letdown to me, because they've been building up all this stuff with Maceo and Mezzi, and it's like, all right, Maceo finally met the Rangers, and they're going to be fighting to the death. And it's like, oh, this next issue is going to be crazy. This is that next issue. And it's... So I'm definitely going to have spoilers in this one, so I apologize for that. So we got Maceo, meets up with the Rangers, and he's got to go through these challenges. And the challenges don't really mean anything. I'm not going to say why they don't mean anything or what happens, but they don't actually have any real meaning. And then when it comes to the final duel, he kind of does something that has nothing to do with fighting. It was like, I already won because I just had a lasting impression on all of you. And everyone was like in this shock and awe, like, oh my God, he's correct. And because he did that, now everything that we've known probably their entire lives, or almost their entire lives, they gave up. And I don't know, it just didn't really make a lot of sense to me in this issue. AR, did I talk about... I did. I talked about it. I enjoyed it. I absolutely loved the hell out of it. It was really good. And here's the cover, because I got the Alex Ross Timeless, and it was absolutely worth it. That's Canadian. It makes more sense then. Got the cover. All right, so MSRP was $4.99 on it. So I guess $7 makes more sense, but I still feel like $7's a lot of money for it. They went anime and one with friendship. Still this one. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, issue number 5. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the series, but the whole challenge, the whole fight to the death, it was all a huge letdown. But then after that, where they kind of went with the rest of the issue, I thought that was, well, not really the rest of it, kind of the There's a part in this issue where it says years later, and I'm not going to spoil any of it because this feels like it's the end of the arc. I'm pretty sure it is. They do a years later thing, and that was really cool as well. But yeah, the whole battle, it was a letdown. Next up, let's do Philadelphia, because this is another one that was really good in its own way. Like, I think I read this in a minute, so I don't want to spoil things for you guys, but this is Philadelphia, issue number 29, cover A. This issue has a focus on John Adams. So this entire arc has pretty much been the whole huge war. Toussaint showed up. He's killing off all the vampires. Pretty much every main vampire that you've known through this series has been eliminated, and John Adams is pretty much left. And what I am going to say is that it's not looking too positive for John Adams, and the whole issue is kind of him reflecting on his life before he was a vampire, the reason he loves this country, why he wanted to do all the positive things for the country, and what becoming a vampire did to him, and I think his wife was Abigail. So that was the whole issue, and I'm going to say that, like, oh, AR, I'm sure other things happened. There were a lot of pages like this. There's no words on this page. So you go, let's do a couple more pages. This is like 4 pages later. Still, pretty much no words on this page. Let's just jump another quick little bit. Few more pages deep. I can't put that one up. Oh, it's got something bad on it. We'll do a different one. Sorry, guys. Yeah, some of these books, they put a little extra in there that you can't really put up. But like this one, still no words. Incredibly quick read. Yes, John Adams, the president. They brought back a lot of presidents for this series, and the most recent one has been John Adams. He's been playing a bigger role, but this issue was really him just reflecting on his life. So, good issue. Took all 5 seconds. I think you can, if you hold your breath, you could probably read it. That's how fast it is. Philadelphia is fantastic. You're one of the only reviewers hyping that book. Dude, that's the thing. There's not a lot of people who are reading that book. And I mean, I know was it 30, 29 issues deep. I get it. I do. But it's damn good. I recommend it. There's a hardcover out. It's got some cool extra werewolf books in there. There's trade paperbacks out for it. That's a series you really need to be reading. And Nita Hawes' Nightmare Blog is also an equally very good one as well. Let's see. I told myself I wasn't going to buy any Ross covers. You got to get a couple, man. Got to get a couple. Yeah, it's absolutely worth starting from the beginning. It is not slow. Now, I will say this because I know somebody's watching this like, AR, you gave up on that shit. I did. I stopped reading it around, I think, issue 7 or 8. Not because it was bad. I couldn't get behind the artwork in the very beginning. I don't remember who the artist was. They've absolutely changed artists. I think part of me wants to say Simmons, but I don't know off the top of my head. So in the beginning, I wasn't fully sold on it, but it was very good. And everyone was always commenting, it's like, dude, you got to get back into Philadelphia, pick it up again. And I think at that point, we were around issue number like 11. So I picked up the ones in between, reread it all again, and I continued with it. They have truly expanded on this story. It's not just vampires in Philadelphia anymore. We got werewolves. We've got other presidents coming back from the dead. We've got gods and demons. We've got a whole bunch of shit going on. It's really good. I really recommend... I'm really recommending starting from the beginning on that one. And I just saw Steven said, speaking on art, I'm hoping you'll do the ambassadors. You mean like this one? Yeah, let's talk about this one next. I think this is cover D. Yeah, this one's cover D. This was awesome. This was a great issue. This is Mark Millar, Frank. Everyone just commented on this one before. Is it Quitely? Quitely? I think that's how you say his name for the artist. This was great. This one was so good. Much better than I thought it was going to be. You got to check out this artwork too. This artwork, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I'm going to say this right now before I get into Indigo Children, because that's the last book that I have to review for you guys. I thoroughly enjoyed Indigo Children as well. I thought it was great. However, if it had this artwork, it would have been that much better. This artwork was probably the best artwork of all the comics this week. And I'm going to say that with a comparison of, I'm going to bring up Venom real quick. because I also think Venom. I think Venom should be. I think Venom should also be talked about with fantastic artwork this week. I think this one equally had incredible artwork, but I think this one, I think the Ambassadors took it. Is this a rare cover? Cover D? Jason, oh, that's what it was. Jason Sean Alexander. You are correct. That is it. You are correct. We'll have different artists on every issue. That sucks. AR, if you had to cut out one thing out of your life, comics or video games, what would it be? I think I had to take a swig for this one. I think I have to do video games. And I say if it's between comics and video games, I think I have to cut out video games because for the most part, video games is a mindless thing. You sit down, you just play a game. Sure, there's games you have to think. Maybe if you're talking about like Portal, like from the Half-Life series, like Portal 2, you have to think about that stuff. It's a lot of puzzles. Resident Evil's got some puzzles in it. There are games that make you think. They're challenging, and you have to, physically focus on what you're doing to complete whatever it is. But I think that one would have to go mainly because with comics, you learn something with comics. You can appreciate what's going on in front of you. You've got great artwork. And that's not to take away from video games because there's a lot of hard work that goes into creation nowadays with the story of some of these games. But comics, you're physically reading. You're putting your brain to actual use. Hell, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't have the biggest vocabulary. I can't even say the damn word. I don't have the best vocabulary out there. But you can use these as a means to learn more. There's different topics. Some of these topics, despite me not being a big fan of it, they put presidential stuff in there. They put modern issues into some of these comics. And it's stuff that you can learn. Maybe you figure out like, oh, I never knew this, and now I do. And then you realize that this is an actual thing that's going on in real life as well. So you can learn a lot from comics. I think comics are a great thing that a lot of people should be reading. I mean, sure, you got like TMNT and Power Rangers, but you can get really good morals out of these stories as well. Like, look at TMNT. Teamwork. Don't always they're violent, but don't kill. Stuff like that. And just, help each other out. Love other people. And same with Power Rangers. Learn to work as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work, baby. And there's a lot of stuff you can get out of these books. So if one's got to go, it sucks, but it's got to be video games. Yeah, I like I said, I don't have the most vast and expanded vocabulary out there, but sometimes I read stuff in these books and I'm like, wow, this is impressive. And this is, I tend to, it's a good thing. It's a good thing for people. I agree. Video games they consume a lot of time. I'm usually up for a few hours. I like to end my night playing, video games for like an hour or two. Sometimes it happens longer than that if the game is really good, but I tend to limit myself for like an hour a night. It's a nice way to relax, and that's how I treat it. It's a way to relax, get your mind off of everything else that's going on in life. But the Ambassadors, issue number 1, this is fun. This is really fun. This is a really creative and unique idea. I'm not going to say this is the best book that I read all week, but I'll talk about it a little bit more when I actually do the tier list, but this truly is a very fun one. The artwork, I was showing you a little bit before. I'm just going to talk about it very briefly. So we've got our main character right here on the front. I don't remember her name off the top of my head because they didn't say it to the very end. Let's see. Jin Sung is her husband, and I'm not seeing her name. Oh, wait, I did it. Jin. Oh, wait, no, she's saying that. I'm not even seeing her name. I think she said her name one time. Oh, wait. Nope, I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. Can't find her name, and I don't want to waste too much time trying to find it for you guys. I was. KO, I just saw. Originally, I was. I thought about it, and I was like, And then everyone said it's Mark Millar. Yeah, you're right. I couldn't turn that one down. So she is the main character. I guess her and her ex-husband were trying to figure out, they're trying to crack the code on becoming superheroes. They're trying to figure out how to become one, and she does. She figures out how to do it, and now instead of her ex-husband, who wanted to figure it out to sell to other people, to sell to the governments, become millions, billionaires, whatever, she decides instead of selling it off, she's going to give the powers out to other people who she deems worthy. Kind of like, I don't want to say like a Thor situation, but something similar to that. Like, if you're worthy of taking these powers, I'm going to give them to you, and you're going to use them to protect, I think she said, their continent. Because I think 6 people are going to be getting it. And she wants to give it out to, I think, 6 people that can protect their... Yeah, 6, because there's 6 people on the front cover. So she wants to give it out to people to protect their country, their continent, and that's a really unique concept. And that's kind of how they ended it. There's obviously some other stuff going on, but this is one that I 1,000,000% recommend picking up. $4, I think, was the cover price on this one. $4, you can't beat it. Best $4 I spent all week. Although Indigo Children was also $4, and this one was equally a fantastic pickup. Although this artwork, I didn't like it as much. Like I said before, I think if this book had the other book's artwork, this one may have been better for me. Because here's the art. Let's see what it says. Travis Cherished, issue should look amazing. I agree with that. My 2 cents. Nap time over for me. Got to go be a dad. Thanks for the convo. I appreciate you, man. Have a good day, and have fun hanging out with your kids, man. Indigo Children was my hot pick of the week. So incredible. Fun fact, the old man randomly grows a mustache on page 17 and disappears 18. All right, let's check it out. Let's see if I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, about 10 more. So towards the end, let's see. That old man. We'll see. I'll have to check it out later. Let's see. Did he draw... Oh, wait. I was legit waiting to see the consensus on here on Indigo Children. Oh, it's worth it, man. Here's a little bit more artwork. So the whole thing is about these Indigo Children. And this isn't a spoiler because I think this is literally the first page. Yeah, so this is literally the first page, so it's not a spoiler or anything like that. Jesus. And the whole thing is these Indigo Children, they have some sort of powers, and then they disappear. Whether it's from some government agency, the Indigo Children are gone, and nobody knows what happened to them. And our main character, I think his name was David, he gets a scoop on the Indigo Children. He's like, oh, I wonder what these children are. I wonder what's going on with them. And he starts getting leads on stuff, and he's starting to dive deeper into this rabbit hole of who these Indigo Children are, what their powers are, well, kind of what their powers are, that they have powers, and what's happened to them. So that's him, this issue. He's trying to figure out what's happened to these kids, where they are, and that leads him to one of the kids. That's kind of where they leave us. It was a really good issue. That's why I said I don't really want to spoil it for you guys. I always like to talk about these books, but then when you get issues like this, and it leaves you with this impression of like, wow, they did a phenomenal job on them. You don't even want to talk about it. It's like, no, guys, you gotta, I hate to say just take my word for it, but it's something that you should go into, not even blindly, but just with the least amount of info as possible and just experience it for what it is. I mean, I'm looking at this like Venom, Philadelphia, Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. Like, you know what's going on in these books. You've been reading them. They're a few issues deep. These are brand new. I try to give you just a little description about it so you can take that for what it is. See if it's something that's worth your time and your money, and just go right into it. It's a fun one. K-Bar, let me know what you think about it. Same thing, Joshua. If you pick it up, let me know. The chat. Some people are asking about Indigo Children from the very start of this one. So if that says anything, yeah, I'm happy to hear your review about it. I appreciate that, Marco. That means a lot. But that's all the books that I grabbed this week. So you know what time it is. Let's rank these bad boys. All right. It's very aptly called a combo of Radiant Black and the Department of Truth. Yes, that's what I forgot to just mention. The description of Indigo Children was a combo of Radiant Black and Department of Truth, and I did absolutely get that vibe. Not as much Radiant Black, but I can see why they referenced Radiant Black. But definitely the Department of Truth side of things. It definitely had more of a mystery kind of conspiracy type vibe to it. It was so good. Oh, damn. That's all of them? See, Mark, at first when I saw your comment and a bunch of the other ones, I was like, yeah, it's going to be different artists every time. I was like, ugh, I don't know about that. But seeing that list, nah, that's a list. That's going to be solid. I agree, K-Bar, to an extent. I missed the Department of Truth, but it fell off to me. It went so far off the rails for so long, and the main plot just kind of disappeared. I know they're back on the main plot now, so I'm excited to see what happens with it, but they spent too much time not focused on the main characters. They were hunting all of these random ones, and that wouldn't be a bad thing, but I think they should have. For example, I think it went Bigfoot right into Mothman, or like vice versa. But what should have happened was they should have focused on the plot a little bit, had those couple issues about Bigfoot, and while they were doing Bigfoot, because I think that's where we met that one conspiracist, I don't remember his name, but the one that's like always rocking USA gear. I think that's where we met him. But then they should have went back into the plot with that, and then the Mothman right after that. Hey, KO, have a good night, buddy. I appreciate you popping in. Stay safe. Comics helped me a lot improving my English skills. In school, English class became a piece of cake. I agree. Obviously my native language is English, but it's really helped me a lot as well with some stuff. Just like, bigger, better vocabulary, shit like that. So with this list, the only one that isn't on screen right now is Something is Killing the Children, but I've got all 14 books right there. And the first one, we're going to go through Marvel first. We're going to go through Marvel first. Holy shit, did he really? Trump got indicted? We'll see if that holds up. We're going to go through Marvel. All right, so the first one I'm looking at right now, we got Thor. Well, I see Deadpool, but all right, we got Thor. I'm sorry, guys. I went into it before. Thor gets a D. Dr. Doom's in it. We're giving it a D for Doom. The series is doomed. Doom is doomed. It's not good. I'm not a big fan of the series. We were talking about it earlier. They just haven't done a good job with it. And whole series aside, this issue, it felt like a mess. It felt like it was all over the place. Dr. Doom shouldn't have been in there. The artwork, I'm not enjoying the artwork either. And a lot of stuff that's going on with Thor's younger sister, well, now younger, older, whatever sister, Lhasa, the stuff with Corvus Glaive, it just wasn't good. It was not good. Oh, the name changes. You should have grabbed Department of Truth, man. Demo. Alrighty. Next one we're going to be doing. All right, so we got... What was that one? That one is... Let me bring it up. Deadpool, issue number 5. Deadpool, issue number 5. I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a good job with it. Like I said, it did turn a little bit more into a love thing. They haven't really developed the plot too much. But the thing is, you can't really keep that in mind with the Deadpool series. You need to go into Deadpool with exactly what it is. An alright plot. It's what's the action? What's the artwork? Have they continuously done the same exact thing in every issue? Have they expanded on it? What have they done? This issue in particular, I think it deserves a B. Not a B plus, just a regular old B. It was good. The ending wasn't that great. It didn't really lead into something new. It just kind of showed Deadpool and Valentine walking, riding off into the sunset. The Harrower, she still got some tricks up her sleeve. Doc Ock got a package, so some stuff's going on with that. The Atelier is still working behind the scenes as well. But as far as the issue goes, I think B is very fair for it. The Deadpool cover is very cool as well. I'll show it again for you guys. I like this one. You got Carnage popping out. They've done a great job on the series. But you can't put it in S tier based on just constant action and like zingers getting thrown out there. You can't do that. But it's also not an A either. Let's see. What's the next one from... All right. Next up, we got Venom Lethal Protector. This is Volume 2, Issue number 1. Alex Ross Timeless cover. I really love this issue. I really did. This was a great issue. It gave me old school Venom vibes. It was a lot of fun. The artwork was fantastic. I'll show you guys the artwork again real quick. Man, I keep randomly opening to like this page. Oh, I've got one complaint. Hold on. Not about Venom that I'm aware of. I have been doing this. I've been talking about this every single... Oh my God. Yeah, Thor gets a D. Hold on. All right, hold on, everybody. I've been talking about this for weeks now. Last week was the first week out of the last, I think, 3 weeks before that, where I had issues with the book. Chat. Again, it's not attached. It's not attached at the center of the book. That is outside of last week. That is 4 out of the last 5 weeks that I have received one Marvel comic that is not attached at the center with the pages. I cannot believe it. Oh, I can believe it. I take that back. I can believe it. But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm really happy it was Thor though, because that was just an added bonus to it. That's an added bonus. Bruh, so that's what I'm saying. I don't understand it. Maybe is it literally just me picking up the shittiest copy at the shop every week? It can't be. It's one Marvel comic almost every single week that doesn't have the middle staples attached. I'd be interested one of these weeks. I'd be interested to check out the other Marvel books to see if it's happening to like a row of them or a bunch of them. But it's ridiculous. Those are the Frizen Harley Quinn one. That's dope. I agree with that. But for this Venom Lethal Protector, like I said, guys, much better than I thought it was going to be. It hit all the key points. I thought it was a really great issue. This one gets an A. I highly recommend it. If you're a Venom fan, symbiote fan, even if you feel like really just they're beating a dead horse with the symbiotes right now, this Venom series was a breath of fresh air. They did a great job with it. My shop always gets cover damages. It's ridiculous. They really get a lot. Let's see. We've got these ones now. What's the next one on my list? Daredevil. So Daredevil, I was talking about earlier, another issue. I knew it was going to be a little bit slower of a one. A little bit of, I said it earlier. I said like a hangover issue. The big war just happened, and now they're trying to figure out their next steps. Daredevil and Elektra, they're trying to burn that totem. But the way that they did the issue and the cliffhanger that they left us on, I didn't even talk about that earlier. We got an awesome cliffhanger that's leading into the next arc. It's like they won. What feels like they won the war, but they're losing everybody else at the same time. And it's almost as if Daredevil's kind of losing himself as well. I love the writing. I love the artwork. I'm also going to be putting this one at an A. Under Venom, but this one also, in my opinion, deserves an A. It was a great read. Absolutely great read. Marvel seems to be cutting a lot of corners production-wise. They absolutely are. Let's see. What's the next one? Next one I'm going to be doing is the Invincible Iron Man. Like I said, this was probably my least favorite issue of the series so far. That's not to take away from it being a good issue. We learned a lot in this one. I really liked the 2 background stories that we got right in the very beginning. We got Tony Stark's version. We also got Frey Long's version as well. We learned that he's behind the scenes for everything. I'd say that's a spoiler, but you basically figure that out right on the very first page. So the artwork, I think the artwork is pretty nice. Not incredible, but it's better than a lot of other Marvel artwork lately. Here's another quick peek at it. But I think Iron Man... this is tough. This one's tough. I think it deserves a B. That would be more like a B minus, like a C, C plus pushing, B minus. That's what it's at. B minus. And then the last Marvel book that we got this week, Strange Academy Finals, issue number 5. I said earlier about this one that it feels like they're really rushing a lot of things. And this issue, it wasn't a horrible issue, but I don't like the direction that they've really gone in this one. I think the whole war between the school, between Emily and Doyle, I think that's great. I think it's great that she's kind of creating an army while he's got his own Strange Academy army going on with all the other students, all the other faculty. I think that's fine. I think the buildup of it has been really good, but there's a lot of stuff that I felt that was wrong with this issue. where the faculty just, Brother Voodoo said, no, can't interfere. We gotta let the kids take the charge. The parents getting involved too. I didn't like the way that they ended this issue either. So it pains me to say it, but Strange Academy gets a C. It really wasn't that great of an issue. Second Street, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well today, man. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, so far, Venom, Daredevil, absolute A's. And Deadpool could be like a B+. I think it was a really good issue, but you can't really expect too much out of it. Iron Man, not bad, more like a B-. Thor, if F was on here, I'd skip D and E and I'd go straight to F for Thor. I really would. That's not good. We're going to do Boom Studios next. Actually, no, we're going to do Whatnot next. This is another, like I said, this is another decent one. Exiled. Once we learned what the actual concept of the story was about, I thought it was pretty solid. No complaints. The artwork's actually not that bad either. The artwork's nice, a lot better than some of the Marvel stuff. But I'm taking this into account when I'm talking about this book. And I didn't see anyone else mention it, so maybe it is just me, but I don't feel as though him right there on the front cover, our exiled fella, it's more of a blurry photo. It's not clear, it's not crisp, because you can see the exiled right there. It looks nice, it looks just like Blade. But himself, it doesn't look that good. And then I've had some other issues. I thought I found a couple grammar mistakes in the book too. The story though, story's not bad. I'm gonna put it as a B as well. This is no, gets a C. It's a C+. That one's a C+. Some of those things were pretty. Some of those things can't really look past. Let's see. Moving on. What are we gonna do next? Oh shit, Dead Seas. All right. W. Roos, what's good? Yo. Happy to be here, man. I'm happy to have you. I hope you're having a really good day, buddy. That's just because he wouldn't stop moving when they took the picture. Yeah, he's too busy. He's like, is this good? Oh, hold on. He's like that. Is this good, guys? No, try it again, Wesley. Try it one more time. And it's like every time he goes like that, that's when they take the picture and they're like, damn, it's blurry again. Just use it. But next up, IDW, we got Dead Seas number 4. I said the same thing. This is probably my least favorite issue of the series so far. Not bad, though. There's just a lot of stuff going on. Very fast paced for this issue, but I'm slowly starting to forget who a lot of these characters are, mainly because there's a lot of people who are pretty quickly being introduced. We got the two, well, there's more to the crew, but the two pirates that pretty much boarded the ship to steal the ectoplasm. We got the actual main crew with the captain who's got their own things going on. The owner's daughter showed up for an unexpected visit. The inmates, and we've seen quite a few of the inmates as well. There's a lot of stuff happening. Hey, Dave, what's going on, buddy? Wow, bro, this takes a lot of prep. You might run out of room on that detail. Listen, Thor set the bar for this one. That was a bad issue. That was a really bad issue. They set the bar for it. I can't imagine there's probably nothing else that's going to hit D. That Thor owns the whole D tier on this one. Oh man, dude, Daredevil, it's a really good one. Maybe blurry because he's getting older, like the Expendables 3 looks like there's an inch. So with Dead Seas, with all those complaints, it wasn't a bad read by any means. I'm still thoroughly enjoying the series. I just like the earlier issues more, but for those, I'm putting it in. That's probably like a B-. I liked it more than Iron Man. Second Street. Which ones did you all grab? Next up, I'm going to do Boom Studios. First up, we're going to do Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. God, how the hell did I get I got myself with the reflection. How is that even possible? I think it reflected off one of the screens here, or the lens right there. It got me just a little bit. Damn thing almost took my eye out. I love the series. I truly love the series. I didn't think this issue was good though. It's a shame. I really didn't like it. There's a lot of issues with it. Like I said before, the entire buildup with the Rangers, the whole everything that they did with each other, none of it made sense because none of it mattered until the duel to the death. And then, like, I think it was, who was it? KO that said it earlier. They had a kind of anime moment where friendship won everything over. That kind of lost me. So I'm going to have to, sadly going to have to put this one behind Strange Academy. Still way better than Thor, but it was truly a letdown of an issue for me. They really hyped everything up for the series. The arc was great. All the issues were great. And they built up to this moment, and they fumbled it. They fumbled it right on the 1 yard line, and it didn't do it for me. Lovesick, Heart Eyes, Something's Killing Children, and Songs of the Dead Afterlife. I didn't see that one at the shop. I also didn't see Lovesick. I think I saw Heart Eyes though. I hope you liked Lovesick. I know you're one of the people who always comment about how good the series is, so I hope you enjoyed this issue. Next up, we got Something is Killing the Children, issue number 30. I love the series. I love everything about it. I smelled it for you guys earlier. Somebody, I forget who it was. Was it Marco? Yeah, Marco said this was the best smelling book of the week. I smelled it twice. This shit's fire. It's got a gorgeous cardstock cover. The artwork, fantastic. The story is great. They're really building up Cutter, Gabby, that other monster that kind of takes form of Erica. I love it. I absolutely love it. No doubt in my mind, this is an S tier. That's an S tier book. This is great. Yeah. Something's Killing Children is S for smelly. Nah, but it's legit. All right. Let's get this going. What do we got next? All right, this is the digital book that I had to read, so I can't put this one up. Songs for the Dead probably isn't on a lot of people's radar. It was the conclusion to a series. Oh, Vault Comics. My shop almost never gets Vault Comics. So that will definitely do it. The approach was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I talk about it when I was talking about earlier. You don't go into this one thinking it's going to be some crazy plot because it reminds me of The Thing. They're stuck in an airport, it's snowing, they can't leave, and now there's a monster. They're trying to kill it, and they're trying to survive at the same time. That's been the plot of the entire series. They missed out on a couple things, but we're not talking about the entire series. We're talking about this one. And I think they did a great job wrapping it up. So it gets a B. No, I take that back. It goes above Deadpool. They did a good job with it. They didn't screw anything up. They didn't add any fluff to make an extra issue or two out of it. They concluded the story, and they kind of left us on... They concluded it, but they left us on a little cliffhanger. Just kind of one of those horror endings. It was really good. I recommend reading that. I do recommend it as a trade paperback, though. If I had it in front of me, I'd show you the artwork. I'd show you that there's not a lot of dialogue on some of these pages. Like this next one I'm going to talk about, we got Philadelphia. Same thing as I said earlier. You could probably hold your breath and read this entire issue. Let's see. Oh, my shop still has the Ozzy Osbourne comic. Dream Eater, it's worth it. Both of those were good. Now we got Philadelphia. I don't think this is... Hold on. Let's see. My bad. Now, I don't think this is going to be a hot take because I really enjoy this series. And despite me saying you could probably read it in one whole breath, I'm telling you, I'll show you another page just to prove my point. There is almost no dialogue on any of these pages. What you're seeing right there is basically what you're going to get. But the way that they showed John Adams and the reflection of him kind of going through his life before he was a vampire, when he became a vampire, the shit that went down with his wife, I loved it. The artwork was phenomenal as well. So for that, no doubt in my mind, it's an A-tier book. Philadelphia is an A-tier book. This issue was A-tier. They did a great job with it. Now we've got these last two. We're gonna go with Indigo Children first. Indigo Children issue number 1. This, I don't know if I want to call it an oversized issue, but it felt like an oversized issue. Very thick book. So for comparison levels, these both came from Image. So there's Indigo Children. There's Philadelphia. So it's kind of an oversized issue. Still, $3.99 price tag on it. Really good. They did a really good job with it. In the description, it says it's a kind of combo of Radiant Black meets the Department of Truth. Big fan of conspiracy theories. Big fan of Department of Truth. Radiant Black, it's got its ups and downs, but overall, it's still a really solid series in my opinion. They did a great job hitting on those points in this one. There's a mystery. We've got our journalist. He's trying to figure out what happened to these Indigo children. We actually saw the powers of the Indigo children. Well, at least one of the kids. And they're doing a really good job kind of giving us the info that we need to want more of this book. But they're still leaving just enough out. I'm a huge fan of it. I really recommend it. This one, it's another S tier book, but I'm not putting it above Something Is Killing the Children. They are both S tier, but Indigo Children, yeah, you know, they're both S. They're both S. I just like Something Is Killing Children more. Let's see. Now we got our last one of the week. The Ambassadors. This is cover D. Apparently, this is a little bit harder of a cover to get. I didn't realize that this one was tougher. I just saw it, and I knew that this is the one that I really liked. I love this issue. I loved it. They did a great job on it. Mark Millar wrote it. Phenomenal writer. The artwork, Frank Quitely. Here's the artwork. Huge fan of this as well. They did. Is it a good page? Yeah, I don't think this book was bad. Did a great job with it. They did a phenomenal job telling us exactly what the plot of the story was, but there was a great build-up to it in the first place. We didn't really get what was happening. Well, we kind of knew what was going on, but we didn't get all of the big stuff up until basically this part in the book. So only a few pages left is when they really just filled us in and laid everything out to where the series was going to be going. Another one. Highly recommend checking it out. And this one, that was the pick of the week. It actually, I didn't mean for it to pan out that way, but it was the last book on the pile, and it was 100% the pick of the week for me. It was my best. It was the best read, although Something Is Killing the Children, in my opinion, could have taken the #1 spot, but I think the reason it didn't is because The Ambassadors was a brand new series. The artwork was top notch. I like the artwork more than Something Is Killing the Children, and hey, Kevin O'Shea, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for popping in. That's all good if you're late, man. You still tuned in, and I appreciate that. And I hope you're, maybe you recatch it. I hope you enjoy the video then. But the thing with Something Is Killing the Children, and the reason I say this is because we're 30 issues deep, and if you're reading the series, you're going to understand when I say that there's not a lot of stuff sometimes that happens in these books. They just do a really good job kind of expanding on the story that's already going on. However, with The Ambassadors, they really laid it all out. And I know this isn't an ongoing. I think this is only, 6 issues, everybody? Oh, wait, I think from that. A whole different thing. The Ambassadors is going to be a limited series. Different artists in all the books. But what they gave us in this first issue was everything that we could, in my opinion, this was everything I hoped for a first issue. Great artwork, great dialogue between the characters, a nice build-up, and then, in my opinion, it was a pretty flawless execution towards the end, and then they hit us with where the story was going to be going. I'm very excited to see what happens next. And I'm not saying I'm not excited to see what happens in Something Is Killing the Children, because that's been building up. And Cutter, like I said, that bitch is terrifying. But still, The Ambassadors, phenomenal. Indigo Children, also an S-tier book. Just not as good as the other two. Artwork wasn't as good, but still, great story. Loved it all. And those are all the books this week, guys. I think it's a Todd McFarlane cover as well for that. It is a Todd McFarlane if it's the same one I'm thinking of. But that's a wrap, everybody. That was this week's kind of top 10 list, more of just a ranking and reviewing these books. I actually like doing it a lot more this way. I hope you guys liked it more too, because I think I'm going to be continuing doing it this way going forward. I like listing them like this instead of like 1 through 10. But thank you all so much. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I know you guys are all very busy, so it means a lot to me taking time out of your busy day to come hang out, talk some comics, and see where you rank these books as well. I love you guys. Love this community. Let me know what you thought about these books. Comment down below. Tune in next Wednesday. I'm going to be on the EXP, the Comics and Collectibles. They got a whole bunch of shit going up for auction style, claim sale style. But I will be back tomorrow for a live stream. We're going to be doing the news. I've got some cool top 10 lists I'm ready to go over with you guys as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hope to see you guys there as well. But yeah, that's a wrap, guys. Thank you again. Love you guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.